in the back of the room, you stood up, climbed on your desk, and yelled, "I am not a statistic. I will go to college and I will achieve." I was overwhelmed by your sheer tenacity and spirit. Other students soon followed suit, and we had a class full of 8th graders refusing to become statistics. This, I thought to myself, this is why I'm here. I grew up watching the achievement gap every day at my high school. Just under 1,000 students entered my high school as freshmen, and 575 graduated 4 years later. I knew the achievement gap was real, and I knew it was a serious problem. Now, after working with my kids for a year, I know that it is a real serious problem with a solution. This year, I've seen my kids grow and learn academically, but more importantly, I've seen them believe in themselves and want the very best. It takes extreme courage to confront the naysayers, refuse to be defined by past failures, and continue to have faith in yourself. Morgan, you and the rest of my 8th graders taught me the real meaning of courage. And because of your courage, I am inspired to continue to fight for their best interests and ensure that every one of them and all of my future students will have everything they need to succeed. Because you, Morgan, deserve it. They all deserve it. Short. What is courage? Courage is not just a 7-letter word that is simply defined in the dictionary. Courage is inside of you. In order to have courage, you must believe in yourself. Believing in yourself boosts your confidence in a way that makes you feel empowered. If you take the time to look around, there's courage everywhere. There's courage in a student who suffers from abuse or homelessness but comes to school every day ready to learn. There's courage in a teacher who's on a constant uphill battle with his or her students but still stays up late at night to assure their success. Many of the people who are around you every day display courage. Are you able to identify them? During my 8th grade year, I had 2 teachers who never taught in Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools, but within the first week of being in their classes, I felt they cared. They didn't want their students to be statistics or reach for anything less than success. Those teachers took students to lawyers' offices and basketball games. They came up with creative ways for their students to learn, and they made me feel like I can do anything. They told me I can be anything, and they said they knew I could do better when I was not performing to the best of my abilities. They are Ms. Blair Watler and Ms. Caitlin Collins. I remember a week or 2 before the end of grade test, Ms. Watler held after-school tutorials and would help students in areas they were lacking. She made sure that everyone had breakfast before the day of the EOGs. She even believed in the students who most teachers were having behavioral problems with. She would tell the students that they were smart and that they could do better than what they were doing. Sometimes, when I would take a test, I would have the right answer, but I would change it because I wasn't sure. That's when Ms. Wallace told me to stop second-guessing myself. And when I did that, I started to do better on my assessments. It's very important to trust yourself because when you believe in yourself, you are thinking for yourself and becoming more comfortable with yourself. Ms. Wallace showed us statistics and told us she didn't want us to become one. That's the day I stood on top of my desk and declared I would not be a statistic. That took a lot of courage out of me because now looking back, I wasn't just telling myself I wouldn't be one. I was telling my fellow classmates and my teacher. I will take what I've learned from Ms. Collins and Ms. Waller into high school, college, and beyond. I will remember that it takes courage to stand out and do what's right. Most of all, I'll remember the importance of teachers and how they can help you because everybody needs somebody. Hopefully, you can teach your students the same. During your first year of teaching, courage will be essential. Not just the courage to teach, but the courage to keep going. You will also need the courage to believe in all of your students, even the ones with behavioral problems. You can help mold them into a positive, well-rounded human being. There will be times where you want to give up. You may even feel alone, but you're not. You must keep a positive attitude because students feed off of your energy. Push your students. Do everything in your power to make them more enlightened. Most importantly, be courageous. There's a quote by Mary Ann Radmacher where she says, "Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it's the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow." Thanks.